Hey ladies, welcome to week 2. How do you like that theme music? I've got some theme music now for my podcast. I'm coming up in the world. I don't know how to act. But I am really excited about this topic this week just because I think that many women may not realize how much a suit has an impact on how people perceive you in the workplace. So this topic is really, really close to my heart. With that being said, I want to begin this week with another question for you. Have you ever noticed that when a woman walks into a room wearing a suit, the energy in the room shifts just a little? People look up and they start to pay attention, and whether consciously or subconsciously, many people immediately assume something about her role. Maybe they assume she's the manager, maybe they assume she's leading the meeting, or maybe they assume she's someone important. But why does that happen? Why does a suit carry that kind of psychological weight? Today on Career and Couture, we're diving into the fascinating psychology behind women who wear suits to work and why this particular piece of clothing continues to signal authority, credibility, and leadership in professional environments. Welcome back to Career and Couture, the podcast where ambition meets image and where we talk about the strategy behind how professional women show up in the world. I'm your host, Monique, and every week we explore the intersection of career growth, professional presence, and the visual signals that influence how we are perceived at work. Because your wardrobe isn't just fashion, it's communication. So, in our last episode, we talked about why dressing for the next level still matters in today's workplace. Today, we're taking that conversation one step further by focusing on one specific item that has become almost symbolic of authority in professional spaces. That's right, the suit. For decades, the suit has been associated with power, leadership, and professionalism. But what's interesting is that when women wear suits, the psychological impact can be even more noticeable. Let's start off with a little history about the suit and how it is associated with authority. The suit has a long history of being associated with leadership. For centuries, tailored garments have been worn by people in positions of influence, particularly in business and government. It originated in the 17th century in England from King Charles II's 1666 decree for a three-piece ensemble that included a coat, waistcoat, and breeches. It was an alternative to European court dress. Primarily centered around men's fashion, the suit rose through the centuries as a standard dress for professionals in the workplace. Let's fast forward to the 1920s, where Coco Chanel popularized jersey, tweed, and tailored suits, freeing women from corsets with Marlene Dietrich and Katharine Hepburn breaking boundaries by wearing pants in public. In the 1940s, during World War II, women entered the workplace, increasing the demand for practical suits. Post-war, these suits evolved into tailored, polished looks. So structured jackets, clean lines, and tailored fits create an appearance of order, discipline, and control. These visual signals became closely tied to authority. When women began entering corporate spaces in large numbers, many adopted tailored suits as a way of aligning themselves with that visual language of leadership. In other words, the suit became a way of saying, without words, I belong in this room. One of the reasons suits carry so much visual authority is because of their structure. Blazers create defined shoulders, tailored suits create clean lines, and that structure subtly communicates strength and confidence. Psychologically, people tend to associate structured clothing with competence and preparedness. Think about it this way. When someone walks into a meeting wearing a tailored suit, it sends signals that they came prepared, they respect the environment, and they take their role seriously. But the psychology of the suit doesn't only affect the people observing it, it affects the person wearing it as well. There's a concept in psychology called enclothed cognition, which suggests that clothing can influence how we think and behave. When someone puts on clothing associated with professionalism and authority, they often begin to embody those traits more strongly. They may stand taller, speak with more confidence, they may be more decisive, and prepare more thoroughly. In many ways, the clothing reinforces the mindset. Think about the last time you've worn a suit. Did your confidence change? Did your coworkers, colleagues, or friends approach you differently? That's what it is supposed to do. The wearer of the suit communicates status and power by signaling professionalism, confidence, and competence, creating a strong first impression that commands respect. Often clad with sharp padded shoulders, some suits create a strong commanding silhouette that signals leadership and capability. A tailored suit indicates attention to detail and higher status or investment in your brand. People instinctively associate a suit with leadership. Most influential leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries have turned to the suit as a tool for projecting authority. A sharp suit makes others take you more seriously and is a symbol of discipline, ambition, and self-respect, qualities that naturally attract admiration and trust. Now, here's the interesting part. Power dressing today doesn't necessarily mean wearing a traditional black suit every day. Modern professional women have expanded the definition. Suits now come in bold colors, tailored dresses, elegant separates, and this isn't copying someone else's style. The key is intentionality. Leaders tend to dress in ways that reflect confidence, clarity, and professionalism. So the next time you see a woman wearing a suit at work, remember that the reaction people have to it really isn't random. It's psychological. The structured jacket, the clean lines, the intentional presentation, they're all part of a visual language that signals authority. And when used thoughtfully, that language can support the message you want to communicate about your role, your ambition, and your readiness for leadership. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Career and Couture. If you enjoyed today's discussion, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future conversations about executive presence, workplace psychology, and the strategy behind professional image. And if you're building a wardrobe that reflects the level you're stepping into, you can explore career-ready styles of design for ambitious professional women at moniquescouturefashions.com. That's MoniqueCouture fashions.com, because the right wardrobe isn't just about fashion. It's about showing up prepared for the opportunities ahead. In our next episode, we're going to talk about something many professionals struggle with: the wardrobe mistakes that quietly undermine professional credibility. So, until next time, remember, your wardrobe isn't just fashion, it's part of your professional story.